month of Ramzan, the old town of Srinagar awakens earlier than usual when the moon is visible and the sun still below the horizon.
शहर खास में संगबाजों के खिलाफ क्रैकडाउन जारी त्राल में जंगजू नौजवान फोर्स पर गोलियां चलाने के बाद फरार
Newspaper headlines introduce the valley's sharp realities to a morning which in its earliest hours, framed in the backdrop of old shrines, reflects an otherwise unreal tranquility. At the Khankai Mohalla, the shrine dedicated to Hazrat Mir Sayyid Ali Hamdani, who in the 1300s influenced the spread of a culturally rich Islam in this region. The Ziyarat of Naqshband Sahib, dedicated to a mystic from Bukhara who founded the Naqshbandi Khanqa of Sufism and whose shrine overlooks an old graveyard of men seen as early martyrs for raising a protest against Dogra rule in 1931. In Khanyar, Dastagir Sahib, a shrine dedicated to the memory of Sayyid Abdul Qadir Gilani, who never actually came to Kashmir, a shrine recently rebuilt after fire had destroyed it in 2012. And halfway up Hari Parbat, overlooking downtown Srinagar, the much-loved shrine of Makhdoom Sahib. This is what's meant by the Peer War, an alcove of shrines and saints, architecturally varied dargahs, khanqahs and mosques that etch the skyline of downtown Srinagar. The Jama Masjid Mosque in downtown Srinagar. This is the city's most densely packed area, but one that's seldom seen by tourists. The dominant images from here are of stone-pelting boys and violent clashes. But hidden in that reality is the historic narrative of downtown Srinagar as Sheher-e-Khas, rich in history and heritage. In 24 hours this week, we bring you the many conflicting realities of downtown Srinagar, past and present.
ये तो रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड में जो है इसमें शहरी खास लिखा गया है। जब से ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट यहाँ का शुरू हुआ तो तब से अखबार तो इसको सिर्फ डाउनटाउन लिखते हैं। 30 साल पहले तक यहाँ के 70% लोग यहाँ दस्तकारी से वाबस्ता लोग थे और यहाँ का पश्मीना जो था, शातूस था, कालीन था, वुड कार्विंग, पेपर मैशी, तांबे का काम, विलो वर्क्स, क्रेवल एम्ब्रॉयडरी, ऐसे ही लोग यहाँ थे, महलों में रहते। और बादशाह के ज़माने में उसने उन महलों में बाहर के कारीगरों को बसाया था। बाद में ये बिखर गए, मुख्तलिफ इलाकों में रहे।
जब से यहाँ पर अमीर कबीर मीर सैयद अली हमदानी साहब आए हैं, तब से वो जब हमदान से यहाँ आए तो उन्होंने अपने साथ बहुत सारे कारीगर लाए हैं। यहाँ पर 2 तबके हुआ करते थे, एक हिंदू तबका था और दूसरा मुसलमान तबका था। मुसलमान तबका कॉपर यूज़ करता था, हिंदू तबका पीतल यूज़ करता था। आप हमारे घरों में आइए, दहेज में, सब में, जहाँ भी आप जाएंगे वहाँ पर आप तांबा देखेंगे।
Mohammad Yasin is from an old family of craftsmen who make and sell their own copperware. His home and shop in Badshah Bazaar, Zaina Qadal, was once the heart of the copper world here. A semblance of that remains. Headline क्या है?
हेडलाइन तो वही है जो हम पढ़ते आ रहे हैं पिछले 25 सालों से। अब सफा के 25 बरसों के दौरान रियासत में 43,000 अफराद हलाक कर दिए गए। कांग्रेस की तरफ से पीडीपी को भाजपा का साथ छोड़ने का मशवरा। हम भी पढ़ेंगे जो आपके मुवाफिक हो।
Politics, part of every conversation in a downtown that sees itself as the front line of the separatist movement, where, like its old heritage architecture, politics too has a deep past.
ये मेरे दादा ने बनाई है in 1892। तो ये मकान अपने वक्त का सबसे बड़ा मकान है यहाँ। This is known as the Zaina Qadal। और यहाँ पर कश्मीर में जो भी कोई पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटी हुई है, सोशल एक्टिविटी हुई है, कुछ भी हुआ है, स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस। 32 में मुस्लिम कॉन्फ्रेंस बन गई, उसका हेडक्वार्टर यही था। क्योंकि शेख अब्दुल्ला ने जब 47 में हुकूमत संभाली, वो तो पहले मुस्लिम कॉन्फ्रेंस में था, फिर वो निकला तो बनाई नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस, उसके बने फिर बाद बने जो बकरा और शेर.
The Sher or lion was Sheikh Abdullah and Bakra or goat Maulana Yusuf Shah, the grand uncle of the current Mirwais Omar Farooq. Sher and Bakra, the original terms for the two political rivals and later their followers. A political dichotomy, often violent, that has dominated downtown Srinagar for generations. Personally too, Vakil's political career has been eventful. Once close to the Mirwais family and part of the Hurriyat, Vakil fought the last elections on a Congress ticket from Khanyar, losing to the PDP. He is keen to draw us away from that topic to his work as a member of the Sher-e-Khas committee.
आइए मैं दिखाऊंगा आपको. पुल है, ज़ैन-ए-कदल पुल. 100 साल से ज़्यादा उम्र है इसकी. तो गवर्नमेंट ने यहाँ पर फैसला लिया, यहाँ से और एक पुल लाएंगे. ये मकान इसके बीच में आता था. So I have to go to the court, the High Court, who has declared it as heritage. अब ये बनाया उधर, ये पुल. 5 साल से ये काम चल रहा है. कहाँ है पुल? तकरीबन 10 करोड़ रुपया इसका निकाला है इन्होंने.
The physical narrative of the old city is defined by the Jhelum and its cuddles or bridges. Their evocative names point to lost histories, while the river, once a lifeline, is choking with pollution and neglect. An attempt to revive the Jhelum's potential led to the idea of a river cruise. Our guide, Rolf Trambu.
This is Badsha Bridge. Further down from here, we'll enter this the old city. This is a Lalder, museum.
The cruise becomes an easy way of exploring the old city's history. In any other place or time, downtown's neighborhoods would have been a tourist's delight. Today it presents a melancholic, haunting landscape, at times violent. An old caretaker takes us to the abandoned house of a Kashmiri Pandit family.
ये भगवान का फोटो है.
The calendar, frozen on the month, the calls like hundreds of Kashmiri Pandits were forced to flee the valley. At the famous Siddhivinayak temple in Ganpatiyar, more reminders of how that past lives on.
We were residing over here, so we have spent all our childhood here. We used to go to school, go to college, go to office.
So you were in Ganpatiyar?
Yeah, around this area. We had to make
A
one round here.
displaced family have come from Aurangabad to visit that old neighborhood.
This is the last thing left, the house, the attachment to the city. One connection to Kashmir.
Rolf Trambu's company runs the cruise on behalf of the State Tourism Board. As a resident of Sher-e-Khas, Trambu feels the cruise can help integrate the volatile downtown area to the rest of the city.
तो इसका जो है tourism point of view बहुत importance है इस हमारे शहर की Sher-e-Khas में. यहाँ के लोगों को, यहाँ के जो बेरोजगार हैं, यहाँ के हमारे नौजवान बच्चे हैं, पढ़ लिख के बैठे हैं, तो उनके लिए भी एक beginning होगी. This is a shrine of Bulbul Shah. He is the person who came first here, and there was a palace of our Hindu king Renchan Shah. He is also buried there.
Further down the old city, what was once the historic port on the Jhelum, Maharganj, the commercial hub of the valley, once connected to distant trade routes like the Silk Road, where cultural diversity was reflected in shops owned by Sikhs, Punjabi Khatris, Pandits, Shias and Sunni traders. Less than a handful of those families remain. At Tirak Ram & Son, we meet Vishal Malhotra or Bobby. In his early 40s, he has recently taken over the textile business from his father, who passed away 2 years ago, and was a respected and influential figure in this area.
यहाँ आपको चलने के लिए रास्ता नहीं मिलता था, यहाँ से गाड़ियाँ लगी होती थी. जो कोई भी स्टॉक आता था वो यहीं पर आता था, यहाँ से वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता था.
Bobby gives us a quick tour of the market.
ये चाय वाले यहाँ के, दे यार जैसे ये हैं, ये चाय के हैं यहाँ के. मेरे को शॉप पे बैठे हो गए 68 पे बैठे, लगाओ कितने सालों में.
Bobby is keen we meet old neighbors and family friends.
असली जो कश्मीर है वो डाउनटाउन है.
जो प्यार करते हैं वो कश्मीर में
वो डाउनटाउन में।
The multicultural milieu his father grew up in has fragmented, and so these social bonds become even more important, like a buffer against the constant insecurity of life here.
जो हमारे बच्चे यहाँ आए ना वो उसी में गोली में जन्म उन्हें दे दिया।
हाउस है वो जो ऊपर की सब भाई हमारा घर है। अच्छा। मैं इधर पैदा हूँ फिर उसके बाद उधर गए हैं। But I was just 2 when we left.
अभी कोई रहता है यहाँ पे?
कोई नहीं है तो वैसे जब मिल्टन सी पीक पे थी तब मेरे फादर यहाँ से चला रहे थे because of these people. My father told me every day they were going for a cricket or football or all those things. He was studying Quran with Muslim people, and he has done azan in mosque. So you can see how good it was. Nothing today. Can you think like that? No, I don't think so. This has changed. See, we had the first bomb blast in our house. We have been fired on our door. We have still the shots there. There have been many instances which I can't say. Things have been, it has happened with every Kashmiri.
Where does the strength come to continue?
See, there's a good English proverb, east or west, home is the best. So it lies there only. This is, you can't leave your house. You are known by a Kashmiri.
Bobby's family has been close to the Mirwais, a political religious family that has a strong hold in this area. The current Mirwais, Omar Farooq, is the chairman of the separatist Awami Action Committee. The Mirwais' Friday sermon at the Jama Masjid is the key event in downtown's weekly calendar, often turning into a flashpoint for clashes between stone-pelting boys and police forces.
Tell me about the stone pelting now. Go to the Jamia Mosque every Friday, you will see it surrounded by the police, by the army, by the paramilitary forces in their gears, with those helmets, with the batons, with those shields they have, as if you're not going to a mosque, as if you're going to a war zone. And I think that is for no reason you are trying to provoke people, you know. I tell you with all honesty, you know, many times you see images of these boys with, you know, those naqabs around their faces, raising the ISIS banner, and they're writing, you know, Taliban. They don't even know what it is. The fact is that these young people, they go to the internet, they download an image, and they feel that I'm sort of revolting against the police.
Worried about the possible movement of radicalization?
I have never viewed or termed Kashmiri struggle as an issue between Hindu India and Muslim Kashmir. But there are thoughts, there are views, there are forces who are definitely propagating that approach. So I think that is something, it's a very dangerous trend. And I think if the conflict continues, you would see probably a situation where a young man, a young Kashmiri, probably would see things from that prism. The new generation has its challenges. I mean, that is why you find Kashmiri youth also confused at times. You know, what course should he take?